Well, fellow bloggers, we're at the end of the semester and it's time to hand in our last assignment for Newcom Tech. The theme for my 2-minute video is a brief history of communication. So to start, let's define what communication is. Communication is simply the act of transferring information from one place to another. So we could go back and start way before computers in 3500 BC when tribal paintings on cave walls was the main form of communication. Or we could jump to 1305 when a Chinese man invented the first movable type printing. Or maybe we could go to 1450 when Johann Gutenberg finished a printing press with metal movable type and changed the idea of written communication as we knew it. But most people can agree one of the biggest breakthroughs in communication came in 1876 when Alexander Graham Bell and Thomas Watson showed the world their new invention, the electric telephone. Gone were the days of writing letters and waiting weeks for a response. Bell and Watson's invention meant that if you wanted to talk to someone and hear their voice, you could. Now let's jump forward a few years and talk about new communication technologies. After all, that's what this subject is called. So let's talk about computers. 1936 brought with it the first freely programmable computer, the Z1, invented by Conrad Zuse. Jump to 1953 when IBM entered the computer market, or 1955, which saw the introduction of the first bank industry computer. And for all you gaming nerds out there, 1962, which saw Steve Russell and MIT invent the first computer game, Space War. Let's move to 1974, which saw IBM release the first consumer computer, the IBM 5100. And who could forget Apple and their first computer, the Apple I in 1976, or the introduction of one of the most well-known computer operating systems, Microsoft Windows, which was released in 1985. But let's move on to something that's become one of the biggest forms of communication in history, the Internet and the World Wide Web. Now, if you're not sure what the difference is, check out my blog down below, and there's a post there that'll explain the difference, make it easier for you to understand. The internet has brought with it an endless means of communication, from emails and Facebook to instant messaging and Skype, even Instagram. There are so many features on the internet that allow us to broadcast to hundreds, if not hundreds of thousands of people instantly, from updating a status on Facebook or telling the world you need to pee in 140 characters or less on Twitter. From cave paintings to Twitter, communication has progressed in leaps and bounds, but something tells me this isn't the end. Communication comes in different forms for different people. For me, I don't think I could live without my smartphone, all the forms of communication I need in one little machine. But it got me thinking, what's your main form of communication? So there you have it, my brief history of communication. It's a bit patchy and there's stuff missing, but that's all the time I have. You've probably heard enough from me, so I'm signing out. Bye!